It's like something out of an Ovis advert, this. Look at that, it's fab, isn't it? How do? I'm currently parked up in Heptonstall in the Calder Valley. Well, I'm not in the valley, I'm on the tops above Hebden Bridge. The weather is utterly abysmal, but I'm just so keen to get out and do a bit of a walk somewhere. I've been off work this week and the weather's just been horrendous. I've just been housebound, and when I'm stuck in for too long, it just makes me grumpy, lethargic. So come what may, I said I was doing a walk today. So it's not a long walk. I picked Heptonstall because I like the place, and I've got some sort of connection with the place. There's a lot of history here. Hopefully we'll be able to have a look at some of that. A couple of nice pubs. I'm not sure if I'm going to be here at pub opening time, but if I am, I'll certainly be popping in one of them for a pint. So I'm just going to get my gear together and I'm going to set off, and I'll come back to you soon. Bye. I hope you can hear me in this strong wind. This house here is quite an important one. It's the family home of the late Port Laureate Ted Hughes. He was born at Riding of Valley. I think the family moved away to Mexborough, and then when they came back, I think this is where they settled. It's called the Beacon. Don't know who has it now. Right, I'm at Slack, or specifically Slack Bottom. Nice name. I'm just going to walk up through the hamlet here. There's a nice little milestone up here. Some snowdrops. Right, I'm walking up through Slack now. I was going to go over the fields back to Heptonstall, but it's just too wet. I'm going to do an about turn up here and then head back to the village. This sign here just gives you some insight into where I am. This house here next to the old churchyard. Slack top. I've always liked this house. This is one of my favourite local milestones. Missed the E in Burnley. I'll be following that finger back to Heptonstall in a minute. Yeah, I like this. I have decided to take the path through the fields. If anything, it's eased off just a tiny bit, so I thought I'd sod it. Anyway, I'm just showing you the wooded valley here of Hardcastle Crags, a well-known National Trust place. When I was a kid, it was a really popular place to come. If you ever had a sunny day out, we'd always come to Crags and bring dog and that. I think it's been quite popular since Victorian times. Well worth a visit, Hardcastle Crags, nice. Especially in spring when the bluebells are out, absolutely lovely. Some witch's broom in this birch. I think it's a fungal thing that causes it. Some people think it's bird's nest or mistletoe. Now that building down there in the valley bottom is, I think it's called Hebden Hay Scout Hostel. And when I was about 14 or 15, we stayed there on a school trip, a history trip. It was a lovely week. Remember the weather being really nice. Right, good place to play out and explore and that. There was a river in the bottom, played football. Nice walks. Yeah, it was good. That's looking across to Crimsworth Dean and Pecketwell. Over there is the road that goes over to Haworth. I love these old gate posts with the grooves in for slotting beams in and stuff. Right, I'm just approaching Heptonstall. You can see the village up ahead. Over this way, just make out Hebden Bridge. You'll be seeing this with the mist and rain on the camera. Yeah, and I'm going to carry on up there and I'll see you in the village. Lots to see there. What a historical gem Heptonstall is. Now this lintel across the path here on the other side is one of the 3 16th century date stones that I've seen in the South Pennines. IB or possibly JB 1578. It's a cracker. And here is one of the oldest Methodist chapels. Oh, I can't remember, is it in Britain or in Yorkshire or something? Let's have a look inside. It's quite dark. Nice bit of stained glass. Something else here for the Daystone enthusiast. 1736. It's a cracker, that one, isn't it? Wherever you look, there's history in this place. Look at that. Just approaching the little museum. And of course, the famous ruined church of St Thomas a Becket. I think it was destroyed by a lightning bolt. And a new church, as you can see through that window, built next door. There's a museum, good in there, really good. Got some good flints. This was the old grammar school. Now that date stone says 1642, but you can tell it's been cut much later than that. There's another nice little date stone here though, I remember. 1765. Now this stone head I first saw when I went on my history trip with school. I've never forgot it. I were taken aback by it then, I loved it then. And every time I come to Heptonstall I always have a look. It's just in an alleyway behind the grammar school, the old grammar school. I hope you're picking me up here. Right, I'm sat inside the ruin of the Church of St Thomas a Becket, the one that I just mentioned that was destroyed by a bolt of lightning. When I packed up in the car, I mentioned my connections with Heptonstall, and I thought that the only connection was I've been coming here a long time. I like the place, but my dad's been doing some family tree work recently. And it's come to light that some direct ancestors of ours lived in Heptonstall in the late 1600s, early 1700s. That's following my dad's mum's side. The main name that they had then was the Law family, which is a quite a well-known name in Tobin as well. So I'm going to have a shufty around here, see if I can find some graves with any sort of family names on. There's an interesting grave in the churchyard that I'm going to try and find as well. I'll show you that. Right, so as you can see, the weather's not much up. Something else Heptonstall is famous for is it's where Sylvia Plath, the famous American poet, is buried. This is a grave here. As you can see, people leave lots of like trinkets, pens, flowers, nice pebbles, coins. She of course was the wife of Ted Hughes. Unfortunately she committed suicide. I wonder what she'd make of finishing up here on this bleak hillside above the Calder Valley. It's nice that people come pay their respects. Right, I'm going to walk to the pub just after 11. If it's open I'll have a quick pint, and if not I ain't hanging about. I'm going to walk back to the car, warm up, drive home and wet through. Anyway, it's not one of my typical walks this. I hope you've enjoyed the historical aspect. Watching me get absolutely soaked to the skin. It's been awful. Do you know what? It was really hard to drag myself out in this, but I'm so glad I did. I really quite enjoyed myself. It's done me good. Right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Short.